I don't usually start our movie reviews, but you're sucking massive weenies today. So I'll give it a shot after this little tune.
Movies, music, story times, all kinds of shit for you. Everything goes in its house and out from corpulent
Not gonna lie, you're definitely not in your game today. So that's not boding well for this video.
I have been awake for 2 days.
So there you go. That's always a good idea.
Brain function minimal.
Yeah. Which I guess falls into the theme of the flick we saw today. That flick being Day of the Dead Bloodline, which I think is the name of the movie. Don't remember, don't care. This is actually the second remake of the Day of the Dead hit film, brought to us by the master of horror, George A. Romero, who's now dead.
He's making his best movies right now.
He definitely is.
In the grave! They say you can't really write something until you experience it, and I guess his best zombie movies are
That's a
up
good
ahead.
point, yeah, that's a good point. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. This is brought to us by some guy called like Hector Martinez or some shit from Bulgaria, I think? Or where was it?
No,
Hungary?
They just went and filmed there because it was cheaper there. I don't know where the fuck he's from. The name suggests somewhere of Latin origin.
Yeah.
But he has another surname which suggests he's from fucking Mars or some shit.
Yeah.
Which
really
probably makes sense because this movie stinks.
This movie would make much more sense to some random ass aliens that came here.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'd have more experience with what constitutes a normal conversation between people.
It's a good point.
Here's the thing about this movie. Have you seen Day of the Dead? Imagine a rip-off, cheap version of it because it follows the same basic structure. Only it rips off the beginning of the Dawn of the Dead remake in the sense that, not that good, but in the sense that it gives you a glimpse into the beginning of the zombie outbreak.
A really shitty, cheap-looking one.
Yeah, only here it feels completely superfluous. Whereas in the Dawn of the Dead remake, you're like, damn, that's cool. We've never seen that before. Yeah, and you get scope out of it and everything. We've never seen that before in Romero flick. We're seeing it here. That was cool in Dawn of the Dead. Here it was like, man, what the fuck? How did this... You really, even though it gives you an insight into the start of the outbreak, it doesn't give you an origin.
No.
But it gives you an insight. It just makes you go, how did this start?
Yeah.
Not because you want to know how it started. Part of the fun of these movies is that you kind of rarely ever know where the outbreak started. But here, it's so badly delivered that you're like, how?
Yeah.
How did any of this fucking happen?
Like randomly a zombie shows up and now everybody's a zombie for some reason.
Yeah. And there's this basically you're introduced to your main character, which is this medical student. Some shithole nowhere town nobody cares about. It was probably somewhere relevant, but the movie made it irrelevant.
Yeah.
The point is, she's a medical student, and she's all about her business, I guess. And she has a patient that, for lack of better words, is a complete fucking perv.
Yeah.
That's all
like
you need
the
to know.
Guardian in zombie or in movie character form, I guess.
Yeah, only worse somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Which is impossible. But there you have it. Point is, he's a fucking pervert. And in the midst of her studies, tending to this patient, the zombie outbreak begins. And somehow, I mean, again, it's not important that you know, but the way it happens just makes you want to know because you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Why is this guy why is she in the middle of a party? There's been no contact with any zombies anywhere, and all of a sudden one of the people in the party turns around, is a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
Literally. She saw a zombie, but it was downstairs in the morgue.
Which for some reason had been dead for a long ass time and hadn't come back up until that random ass time later on.
I mean, yeah, but that's how the zombies just come back also.
I guess,
Like a Night of the Living Dead, they just come back. And that's fine. That's a dead guy that came back. That makes sense. He's a dead guy in the fucking morgue. The zombie thing happened. He came back from the dead. That makes sense.
That can be explained.
That makes sense in terms of these movies. The dead come back. That's the point of them. What doesn't make sense is she sees this fucking zombie. She runs upstairs to the party she was at. you know, with her fellow medical students, doing this.
Yeah,
for no
they're
reason.
all just standing doing
Nobody
this.
behaves like this in the fucking party. Nobody does this
Drinking
for no
from
reason.
empty cups and shit.
Yeah, it's horrible. Anyway, she goes to the fakest party ever, and she goes, "Why aren't you running? Why aren't you going away? Bitch, they didn't see anything. You're the only moron that encountered a zombie down there."
And instead of coming up and being like, "There's a zombie down there," you're asking them why aren't they reacting to the zombie they haven't seen yet.
And they're like, "The fuck is you babbling about, ho?"
Yep. Except for the one person who's randomly a zombie all of a sudden.
Yeah. And it literally cuts to a guy and goes, "Doctor, whatever the fuck," and the person who has no contact with the morgue at all turns around, is a zombie.
Yep.
Just like a full-blown rotting flesh zombie somehow.
Rotters, if you will.
Oh yeah, this movie calls zombies rotters, which is stupid as fuck. Anyway, then in a matter of milliseconds, the zombie disease just spreads to everybody. / everybody's eaten.
Yeah.
So it just happens, and you're like, all right. So the disease spreads fast, but at the same time, we're seeing people die. So does it not spread to the people that die? Shouldn't the half-eaten corpses come back too?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the fuck's going on.
Instantly, the rules make 0 sense.
Instantly. Then we get a glimpse of the actual zombies in action, and apparently they like biting heads, which, as it turns out, is a plot device.
Yeah.
Like, apparently, we find out later in the movie that if a zombie bites you in the head, actual line, "Oh, it didn't bite you in the head, you'll be okay." You know, give or take a few words.
Something like that.
If it doesn't bite you in the head, you have a longer time before the disease gets you.
You would assume this would lead to like someone getting bit in the arm and getting their arm chopped off or something.
A la the original Day of the Dead.
Nope.
I don't know. And people do get bitten in the head. And then there's like, this guy over here didn't get bitten in the head, but you know the chick at the beginning of the party, her best friend, she gets bitten everywhere except the fucking head.
And she's instantly
a zombie. So anyway, the rules are out the window. There's no standard set to what these zombies are, but we get a glimpse of them in action quite a number of times, and they're basically runners. Or are they? See, there's 2 types of zombies, and for the longest time, because of Romero, they were shamblers. They were slow walking, you know, like you expect a reanimated corpse to walk. The classic zombie.
Yeah.
You know? Disc jockeying.
Made popular recently from Walking Dead, the walkers.
Yeah. So we have that type of zombie being the standard. But then, back in 2002, a movie called 28 Weeks Later, which... argue what you will, they're infected, they're zombies. Zombies are infected, you fucking assholes. They're basically zombies. Anyway, that introduced the idea of runners. And then we had Dawn of the Dead, you know, expound on that. This movie takes that's to say the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
And this movie goes on that, and, you know, follows suit, where we have runners. Except, they're kind of also shambling Walking Dead style... they're Romero style zombies as well.
Really
so
confused.
they're doing the zombie shuffle of old,
broken ass legs and all.
Yeah, you know, with a distorted fucking body and the, you know, limbs going everywhere and shit.
Classic.
But they're running at the same time, so they just look like fucking retards.
Like freaking Michael J. Fox is running around or some shit.
Yeah, it looks completely moronic.
Yep.
So the body...
Also, it looks like those people probably hurt their knees or something.
They most definitely did. The body language for the zombies is freaking atrocious. It's like when you saw one of the Jason movies, and the guy playing Jason was like...
a midget, yeah.
Nowhere near as good as any of the other guys. That guy, times 10.
Yeah.
Atrocious zombie body language. The worst... dare I say, the worst. And we've seen Children of the Living Dead, no direct relation to Romero's series, though the filmmaker attests that it's part of the series, which it's not. And that had a zombie literally fucking creeping around.
I would much rather see a zombie
like this, creeping around like a fucking... I don't know.
Like a raptor, which brings us to the zombie sounds.
Yeah,
for some reason they sound like velociraptors.
For some reason the fucking zombies in this movie sound like dinosaurs / lions.
Yeah, there's a point where one of them sounds like a lion.
It makes no sense. And they appear out of nowhere, And then we have our main zombie, which is a mirror of the zombie Bub in Day of the Dead. And in Day of the Dead, the original Romero movie, Bub is a zombie that shows a form of intelligence and memory retention. So it gives hope to the idea that zombies may be tamed, or that maybe something can come of that memory retention.
Not only that, but since the main villain is so douchey, and he's kind of going against... I'm going by memory, of course. I haven't seen it in a while. He's going against Bub. He kind of becomes a likable character. Of his own.
Bub is most definitely a sympathetic character in the sense
more
that...
human than the villain.
Yeah, he becomes a much more human person, ironically, than our bad guy. Well, the zombie here is a direct reflection of that, only like... Let's just make like the Bizarro world mirror version of that.
Yeah.
You know, instead of Bub, or here he's called Max, but he's basically Bub. Instead of the Bub we know and love, let's just make him a fucking pervert.
Yeah.
That when he was alive was obsessed with our main character.
I was gonna rape her.
And now that he's dead, he's still obsessed with her because he retains some form of intelligence. Turns out that his blood, i.e. the name, the bloodline, turns out his blood has some sort of, you know...
Antibody, or
antibody or whatever, that allows it to...
I mean, this doesn't make sense,
They're going to use his blood... Let me put it this way. They're going to use his blood to create a antivirus. But he's still a zombie.
Well, they do say that, and this was my theory and it was confirmed in the movie, that it was for the survivors, so that when they die, they don't turn into zombies.
It doesn't matter. He was a human being that got bit by a zombie, and his blood didn't fight off the disease. It just created a...
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that he's a zombie.
Yeah, it created a mutant version of a zombie that was just smarter than the average zombie, but dumber than the average human. So, what kind of fucking antivirus are they going to create? Just a antivirus that basically allows them to fight the zombie disease to a certain stage, but will still basically make them zombies? I don't know. Maybe some fucking badass scientists out there can explain how this works. Either way, in the movie, it sounds like ass.
It does sound... It makes kind of sense, but the way they explain it is stupid.
Yes, utterly ridiculous the way it is explained and presented. It just sounds like a complete ass theory. But anyway, this is our main character. He's a perverted zombie, literally stalking some chick that he liked when he was alive.
Yep.
All right, you might say they're just flipping the script. They're trying to make it original and new. It's the thing is, it comes off as completely ridiculous. On top of that, this fucking dude did not only retain some sort of intelligence, he's like a fucking ninja and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
he somehow gained parkour skills.
Yeah, literally Mad Hossing off of shit.
There's a part where they get back. That's what I was gonna bring up. Where they get back to the base, and somehow he has clung himself, Sideshow Bob style, to the bottom of a freaking truck.
Yeah.
Gets down. Everybody's looking in the direction where he's at.
Wait, you're skipping a whole array of situations here, or scenarios here. Yes, they encounter him outside of the facility where all the survivors are at. And when they come back, yes, he has clung onto the bottom of one of the Humvees. Thing is, they're driving up.
Yeah, they didn't even see it.
He's nowhere visible. And when they show him under the Humvee, it's clear that he would be visible.
Yeah.
So anyway, already you're like, oh, well, that's just a mistake. That's just a little botch. It happens, right? Fair enough. But then the what is he again? The fucking lieutenant or whatever the fuck
he is. Yeah.
The guy in charge of the facility, he's like, hey, go check out if there's anything in these fucking Humvees that doesn't belong here.
The only guy making any sense.
Yeah. He tells them to do this. They go. I don't know if you've walked into a room, but if you walk into a room, you can basically see everything.
Yeah.
So these guys are headed in the general direction of these Humvees. They should be able to see this fucking zombie.
Multiple people.
Yes, multiple people. And they don't see him. And then on top of that, while they're there right next to him, he just plops himself down and runs away, and they're like, and they don't see him.
And there's no bushes anywhere.
No.
He just runs away.
So that's anyway, he's a fucking ninja. Like, he must have been born in Japan or some shit, because he's crawling around vents. Nobody hears him.
Yeah.
He's screaming in vents. Nobody hears him. He's dropping down like the Blue Blazer, only not killing himself because he's already dead.
Yeah.
You know, he's like the best zombie of all time, apparently. Only he's obviously a sexual predator of some sort. Anyway, in the meantime, our main character is trying to find a what, like fucking cure,
yeah.
basically.
A vaccine to
yeah.
make people not turn into zombies after they die or some dumb shit like that.
So because of this, when she finally encounters this guy in the facility, this pervert zombie, she realizes that this is the same... Well, she already realized that before, but she realizes that she could use his blood to create the antivirus. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough in terms of, you know, if I were just to say that, that would seem like a decent setup.
Yeah.
Except that, again, the guy's a fucking ninja. Mm-hmm. And two, this bitch has already been responsible for the death of people because of her outrageous plans.
Yes. There's a point... We skipped over this, but there's a point where they go back to the medical facility to get medicine for a kid who she refuses to quarantine despite the fact that she has like the most deadliest virus of all time or some shit. She's an idiot is what we're saying. She goes back. She has an escort, yet she's in the way back and decides to break off from the escort and then gets attacked because she's a moron.
Yeah.
And the entire movie, she does stupid decisions that are just dumb.
And she's supposed to be the heroine. She's supposed to be the one you empathize with. She's supposed to be the smart one. She's supposed to be the one that you feel like is getting crushed under the authoritative thumb of the military leader heading the facility. But all you're thinking the whole time is, this military guy here, this lieutenant, he knows what he's talking about.
If they had done
He's trying to keep everything streamlined. He's trying to get this facility. He's trying to keep the survivors alive. He's trying to keep the fucking zombies out of the facility. Yes. But this bitch is insistent.
Opening doors and shit.
Yeah, she just, hey, let's just let these zombies in. Oh, okay, fine. You could get, you know, an antivirus out of this blood. All right, cool. How about you stop letting people go up to the zombie and taunting it?
Yes.
How about that before it fucking bites them and or escapes? How about that shit, huh, bitch? How about you need samples of this zombie's blood, so you go up to it, knowing that it knows you, that it recognizes you, that the sexual predator zombie still has a thing for you. You use that to coax blood out of it. Then right after you coax blood out of it, you taunt him. What if you need more blood, you dumb whore? She's an idiot.
She's not good.
She's the biggest moron on earth, and she expects. She's like She
really is.
She's an entitled whore, basically. She feels like oh, I have this fucking solution. You should just accept everything I put on the table.
Meanwhile,
even though everybody's getting killed, even though because of me, I've decided to. Well, not decided to. Because of me, zombies have raided the facility at one point.
Meanwhile, our boy, our true hero, the supposed villain, is just trying to keep everyone alive.
Yep.
If they had done everything he said, it would have been a different movie.
Yeah.
Like, it would have ended in 2 minutes. And it would have been a great ending.
There's a point where she needs other zombie blood samples to test against the pervert zombie's blood sample to decide which of the 9 glands is producing the antivirus potentially. Already that sentence sounds ridiculous as fuck. I just got to test 9 different zombies. Why don't you just get one zombie and take a sample of their blood from the 9 different glands on its body? What do you have to get 9 other zombies? Or 2 zombies, 3 zombies. 9 specific fucking zombies you have to bring in.
And even then, she ends up only getting them from like 3 anyway. So.
No, they were already towards the end. She's like, I need one more. So they had already collected 10 million samples. The thing is, their process of collection is to go outside near the fence that covers up. That surrounds the whole facility, and they literally open this fence and let them in one at a time. The flimsiest fence on earth, no less.
Yep.
And they kind of capture. They shoot their legs out from under them and capture them. Anyway, of course, the zombies overwhelm the cheap ass fence, and they're like 2 people holding it back. And because of her dumbass plan, 10 grillion zombies raid the facility. One of them, which is just a jogger. Yeah. Apparently.
There was a guy without any makeup just jogging in the middle of the zombies.
Now, I suggested, since the zombies would come to the fence naturally, couldn't they just lure them to the fence, not have to open it, just get the blood samples through the fence?
Yes.
They could at least have gotten like 6 of the blood samples through the fence.
There's also a point where they're holding up the fence, and this is like a regular fence. This isn't like a freaking like thin fence or anything. No, this is regular ass fence. They're holding their arms against the fence, and these zombies are like right here. It's like, why wouldn't they just bite the dude?
Because they're aiming for the head, remember? I guess.
And that's the kind of shit you start noticing when the movie sucks so much asses.
Yeah.
That and fake ass CGI mice.
Yeah, there's too much CGI in this. It's plenty bloody, but none of the gore is cool. There's literally one cool zombie in it, and he's literally like in one shot.
Yeah.
He turns around and moans, and his fucking jaw almost falls off, and it's kind of cool. And I guess he was supposed to be like Dr. Tongue.
I guess.
In the original Day of the Dead, only suckier. Only cool zombie in this whole thing. But there's too much CGI when it comes to the blood effects. Just splashing everywhere, and it's CGI. There's a point where they shoot a zombie right next to our main character, our supposed heroine, and the blood splashes on her face. Instead of just using regular blood, fake blood, CGI blood.
And it's for like an extended bit, like she's talking, and the CG is like it's a clear layer above her face.
Yeah, it's layered on her, so it moves unnaturally on her face, or with her face. And you're just like, why did you need to do that? Fake blood doesn't cost much.
I get the CGI mouse, but why'd you have to put?
Yeah, there's at one point a CGI mouse.
It's kind of cute, but it's pointless.
I don't understand why it was there.
Yeah.
Well, I understand why it was there. It was there for a jump scare, which, by the way, this movie over depends on in the first act in the film. There's just jump scares everywhere, and they're stupid. None of them made me jump. They're all fake out scares. There are no legitimate scares in this. You can earn a jump scare. None of these are earned. They're just like, oh, look at me. I'm standing right next to you.
There's actually one where it's from behind a person. She walks up to our hero and goes like that, and they play the little jump scare note. You're like, why? We knew this wasn't a zombie.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. The person's in the shot. The person's in the shot.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you play a jump scare? I can see the person. Why is there a jump scare note?
Yep.
I don't understand why there's a jump scare note, other than you want a cheap jump scare, or maybe you had an extra, fucking crescendo of a fucking violin somewhere lying around. Yeah. Oh, we haven't used this sound, guys.
We already used the Velociraptor and the Tiger sound. We still got this random ass runk for no reason.
I don't get this movie, man. I get it. It just sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing to get other than it fucking sucks. Massive nuts. It's terrible. It's one of the worst zombie movies ever. Possibly one of the worst horror movies of all time. No, in fact, it is one of the worst horror movies of all time. And yes, you could argue that there are far worse movies, like, say, Warlock Moon, but the redeeming factors in that is that eventually you begin to enjoy it because it's so bad. This is just like, why is any of this happening?
Yeah.
I don't understand how I'm supposed to feel sorry for anybody. And the one guy I'm not supposed to feel sorry for, the one guy I'm supposed to hate, I'm like, that man needs to be listened to. Please listen to this man, because he would have saved all your lives by now. This completely defies what the original intended. And it's not, again, to repeat, it's not that they're trying to be clever and shake it up, stir it up, change it around, flip-flop it.
I think the only time they tried that was with the Max character in making him
that's definitely deliberate, yeah.
But everything else is just failed.
Yeah.
It's just failure. Like, you're trying to make this character hateable, but he's the most sensical. You're the one, he's the one you want to freaking survive. He's the one trying to keep everyone alive. While your moron-ass heroines letting in zombies and giving them veins and shit. It's just stupid.
It's one of the worst. I can't think of any pros to this movie. Can you?
It ended.
I mean, besides that?
No. Freaking stunk.
I can't think of one. The second time I watched it was worse.
I guess it makes the original better. By default of it being shit.
It makes me hate that they use the name Day of the Dead.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the previous one did that, but now the previous remake, looks far better in comparison to this. And that's saying a lot because that fucking movie sucked. This is basement level shit. This is what lies underneath the basement of a prepubescent kid that masturbates too much.
What?
His floor, this is what this movie is. Just caked, spent seed from some asshole that decided I can do better than the master. No, sir, you cannot. You fucking suck. You should be taken out back and shot, reanimated like a corpse, and shot again. Fuck, I don't understand. And then the sexual predator zombie is how is it? Like you said, that's the one intentional thing that they turned on its head, and you're the whole time you're wondering what is the purpose of this?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Why does it need to be a perv?
You completely took the point of that character out.
Yeah.
By doing that,
and you didn't reinvigorate it with anything.
You didn't add anything to make it sensical change. It was just stupid.
This is the most appallingly bad remake I've seen. It's tremendously bad, and like I said, it was worse the second time. Anyway, let's give this fucking thing a rating. Hint: mine is -10. What's yours?
Minus -10. Yeah, it's like a straight up 0. I would give it points for it existing, but no. Actually, you get negative points for that, so -10.
Oh, by the way, the reason mine is -10 is because, yes, it would have been a 0 because it sucks that bad, but the -10 points come from the actors in this.
Yes.
All of them are absolutely fucking horrible, with the exception of the guy that's supposed to be the bad guy that you're supposed to hate. He's okay.
He's just okay.
Yeah, and it's more like, at least he's not everybody else, and it's kind of where he's at.
Yeah,
and he's okay, but that's not enough to save this movie. Obviously, those actors are enragingly awful, just the worst. Anyway, you actually have to see. In fact, the best way to see this movie, the only reason to see this movie, is to watch the original Romero classic followed by this movie, just to see how badly they fucked this up.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Most misguided bullshit ever. 50 thumbs down if I had them, which I don't. So I'll give it 2 thumbs down and get sued by Roger Ebert.
I'm pretty sure he's dead, isn't he?
Who's dead.
Yeah.
And Gene Siskel, who's even deader.
Yeah.
So
Roper, no one cares about him.
Roper's not going to give a shit. Fuck that guy. Anyway, fuck this movie most of all. It's been Ahab and the Goontick. I hate my life. This movie sucks my dick dry. Not in the good way.
Nope.
We're out. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notifications.
That's it.
Bass music, stupid sounds, all kinds of shit for you. Anything goes inside and out, don't cup of corpulent juice. Bass music, stupid sounds, all kinds of shit for you.